Before we get rolling with today's episode, I want to take a second to tell you about Sharp Training. Snyder Health Recovery and Performance Training is an online training platform to help washed up athletes look, feel, and move better. We offer several different group options catered to your needs, interests, and goals with new programs delivered each month through the TeamBuilder app. Features include video demonstrations, 24/7 messaging and feedback, and access to the Sharp Edge, a comprehensive guide to upgrade your diet, sleep, and life. Use the code PODCAST in all caps to get 50% off your first month when checking out a program. Iron sharpens iron, so let us help you become your sharpest self. Now let's go.
And we're back.
We're back. The boys are back. Guys, what's up?
Boys are back in town. What's up, brother?
Jaden, what's happening?
Not much. Back in Iowa City.
Back at it.
Back to school. Back to school.
Just the boys once again. It's nice to, obviously cool been having guests on, but it's nice to just get together, just the boys, chat it up. Don't know what we'll hit on, but we'll see if we can fill up 45 minutes.
Well, we hear. Jaden, did you have a first day of school outfit? And did you take a picture?
We haven't started yet. We start next Monday, but
get to planning.
That makes sense.
It's a big deal.
It's in the work.
You have that.
It's in the work.
Get the little chalkboard, and I am 24, 21,
starting
I do the
18th
math.
grade or whatever that would come out to. About to be a doctor, boy. Are we gonna call you Dr. Snyder?
Yeah. I don't know if PTs go by doctor.
I'm gonna call you that anyway.
I don't
You're
think I've met
Dr.
one that
Lee,
does.
just like Dr. Lima.
Yeah, we've had a couple
Is what it
doctors on,
is.
Dr. Snyder and then Dr. Lima. Some good.
I feel unqualified.
Yeah, for real. I mean, we're blessed.
I literally just have a bachelor's degree. I do have two, but I am not a doctor.
I have.
Colin, you got the master.
I got the master. I'm Master Snyder.
Master Sergeant Swaggy B.
I got it online.
Shout out
I don't
Sergeant
know if
Swaggy
that
C.
makes a difference, but it still counts.
Colton stealing my gamer tag. I'm still so just like bothered that he decided that was okay. For all of you that don't know, used to game a lot. Used to play a lot of Call of Duty. World at War, super slept on game. People always talk about Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops and all of that. World at War was a great game. Put so many days on that game. Probably put about 35 days on that game. Was like an OG gamer. This is before Fortnite, etc. And this guy, Colton, who for some reason I still invited to be a part of the wedding, decides that he can steal my gamer tag. I was Sergeant Swaggy B. And this dude, I don't play for a couple years because I grow up. Next thing I know, he thinks it's okay to be Sergeant Swaggy C. And his claim is that he like added one less G or something. It's like, bro, you have the same gamer tag. That was so cringy. It's like when somebody goes and gets a brand new pair of shoes, and then literally like a week later, somebody else goes and gets the same pair of shoes. It's like, bro, I just got those. I had those first. You can't do that. Can't do that, Colton.
That's a scum of the earth move by Colton, and
as far as I know, he's still Sergeant Swaggy C to this day. As far as I know,
he's not even good.
Yeah.
What do we?
No, cannot. He really not good. All the kids clap him. All of them.
Let's just make that a new 5-minute segment every episode. Just hate on Colton.
Bash on Colton. Dude, we'd have content for years.
Years and years and years.
I'll still never forget when we were hurt together and we did calf raises in the hallway. Still have that video.
Broken back, boys.
We took like 700 milligrams of caffeine before.
I was going to say there was an unbelievable amount of caffeine. That was
for Scoop Friday.
Sorry, mom, but there was so much caffeine going through my.
What was it, like Red Bull and 5 Hour Energy?
Yeah, and then there were like these like complete nutrition, like these caffeine pills or whatever that was going around, and yeah, I took one or two of those. So it was like there were times in the game where I was like, my heart's probably going a little bit too fast, but we got a great pump on that day in the hallway.
Yeah,
did so many calf raises.
Do you still? What's your main source of caffeine these days? I mean, are you allowed to with what you're doing? Is it just coffee? You do energy
me?
drinks? Yeah.
I don't know, Jaden. Sometimes like when I have to send like, for example, we had tryouts this weekend, 3rd to 8th grade tryouts. I probably sent 700 emails in one day, and I'm not exaggerating. Like literally not exaggerating, because I had to send out like invites to 300 people, and then they all had to respond back whether they're in or out. And then I have to enter that into the spreadsheet. There's got to be a better way to do this. Come on, Blake. But um, then I have to respond to each person just out of the kindness of my heart saying, thank you, looking forward to the season, or, oh, that's a bummer. Thanks for trying out. Good luck this fall, winter with another program that's not as good as All Iowa Tech. So
Facts.
literally like 600, 700 emails. So in days like that, yes, I will go grab, shout out Ben Kingery, a white monster, and just start typing away. I really need to get one of those dictating things, but I don't have my own office. So
Yeah.
I just type, and I get carpal tunnel.
I do hear from the people that drink Monster, the white Monster is the way to go.
Dude.
And there's different caps with the white Monster, like one gray and one, I don't know.
So when I was
I don't know about that.
when I was intern at Kentucky, they had a fridge full of white Monsters every day. So I probably had 3 of those a day just to get through the whole day, which was, I mean, long days, but those carried me through. So shout out to white Monsters.
Hey, even going back to like the Taze days of complete nutrition, the amount of caffeine on this podcast consumed is unbelievable. I think
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Now I really tame it down. Paige has got me on like there's little V8 energy things that have like 90 milligrams, and I'll just do one of those. I have a cup of coffee right now. I still drink. I got like the Nespresso thing with the wedding, so those are pretty good. That's
nice.
pretty easy. Slow days, if I'm a little bit slow motion, I'll drink 2 of those and get about 180 going. To get to Ames, about 4 days a week. So it's a 50-minute drive. So got to get through that.
Jaden, what's your just coffee for you? You ever do anything?
Yeah, I was at home. I was basically off coffee. I was just a little pre-workout. It was probably close to 200. But now that I'm back in Iowa City, I'm back on the coffee train. I missed it. So I'm probably between like 300 or 400, but it's all like before 10 a.m. So it's nothing that'll affect me in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
In my heavy caffeine phases, I take a lot at one time, but it's all front loaded in the morning, just at one time, and then still sleep like a baby. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I had makeup tryouts last night from 6 to 7:30, and I slept in, was feeling kind of groggy. We'll talk about the Holy 40, but I feel like getting up in the morning and getting caffeine and running and working out has really helped with my energy. And but then yesterday I didn't because Paige had the day off, and it's kind of like our weekend. Wednesdays are like our weekend, and I don't know. I think it's still probably good to balance it a little bit. So it's kind of like a weekend during the week. And so slept in, but like I could even tell like throughout the day that it was a lot harder to get going, and I wasn't like as clear minded and stuff. So I had a 5-hour energy on the way to Ames, and it definitely affected my sleep. Like I was just like kind of irritated and just didn't have as good a sleep. But it's still like better to get up in the morning. Like got up this morning and went on a run, and I don't feel like affected by it or anything, but it definitely affects your sleep if you have caffeine past noon or whatever it is.
Yeah. Dude, that's like the not secret recipe, but I feel like that's just the formula for a great day. Caffeine and a little sweat. Like I just got mine in, and just immaculate vibes. It's hard to have a bad day after
Just feeling
that.
great.
And like
Absolutely.
I work out every day, which probably not necessary for most people and probably not necessary for me, but like my days are considerably worse when I don't get that morning workout in. So
Yeah.
find a way that works for you. It doesn't have to be lifting, I guess, but going to run, going to
I'll
walk.
say even in like the other part of the Holy 40 is like getting up and seeing the sun, especially like in the limited time we actually can do it when it's decently tolerable outside in Iowa. But I feel like even if I just did that versus yesterday, just like staying in bed and getting on your phone and kind of moseying, it's like, dude, I do not feel good. So
How's the
Yeah, I mean, the more you can front load that start of the day and start it off on the right foot, whether that's like a lot of protein in the morning, starting there, or like you said, sunlight, movement, it all just kind of,
eyes?
it just trickles down to the rest of your day. So start in the morning.
Oh, I still got
Get
those
it done.
sunglasses on. I have to, you know me. I don't
Mm,
go outside without sunglasses on, even
I
if
don't
it's
know how you
cloudy.
do
I don't.
I
I don't
just
think you get
can't,
the
dude.
same
My eyes just
effects.
why,
It's like it's a filter.
dude. I
They
like,
got to be exposed.
dude. I literally this morning because I got up earlier because we were doing this at 9, so I wanted to get woke up at 7 and I stepped outside and was like walking and I was kind of like warm up as I walk and I got about like 100 yards from the apartment and realized I didn't have my sunglasses on. So I literally turned around and went and got them. Like I just can't do it.
Interesting.
Not a fan.
I've been golfing a little more in sunglasses, not by choice, but just because this remote job has absolutely fried my eyeballs, and I'm just not a fan at all. And probably like a good pair of sunglasses. Mine are like $10, so maybe like a good pair
Yeah,
of prescription
you got to get good
glasses.
ones, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to get good ones. Like I have good sunglasses. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I've choose to put a little money into, and it's a game changer.
I feel like
Yeah,
golf.
I've never.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've never hopped onto the golf or the sunglass train. Like if you've ever played shortstop or third base in Larchwood, the ballpark, like you've been
Yeah,
tested in how much you can stare at the sun and still try to
yeah.
focus. Like I never got to the point where I thought I needed sunglasses on that field. So I feel like I can do basically anything.
I feel like that's why I have to wear sunglasses is
Yeah,
because of the trauma to my eyes from staring at the sun at shortstop for
Dude, I'll
5 years of
never
my life, dude.
I'll never forget. I was playing third base, and the sun was. I don't know if it was larger or not, but the sun was directly in my eyes. Had sunglasses on, and I saw it off the bat, and I thought it was a liner over my head. So I jumped up for it, and it was a slow roller right at me. I can't imagine how crazy that must have looked from the rest of the ball field. Like, I don't know if that was a CTE moment or just purely aligned with the sun. That was probably top 5 worst moments of my life. Terrible.
Do not miss baseball.
No.
Man, those were some hot days out there.
summer ball.
Fun being with the friends, but that's
Yeah.
not the best. Jaden, I don't know how you played that sport for 4 more years. No,
Yeah,
3 more years after high school.
yeah, probably 3. I mean, you appreciate summer ball after playing spring ball.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, talk about that last season in Northwestern, bro.
Double
I
headers.
wanted to go support you, but dude, it was like freaking
Freezing.
snowing on the field, bro. I'm like, this is not baseball weather.
Yeah, I'd take 100-degree baseball over below freezing baseball any day. Oh,
Not
nothing
football.
feels good.
Football's kind of a sport meant to be played in cold every once in a while, but baseball is just not it. Not it at all. I mean, we hit on the Holy 40 a little bit. How's that been for you, Brandon?
It's been really good. I think I started the first day with, I think, all but one of the 12 challenges. Jaden can maybe go into detail on kind of what it all entails. And then 10, so got 2 points the first 2 days and just got 8 yesterday. But yesterday was kind of a weekend day for me. So, and I've also kind of been dealing with a little bit of just foot and Achilles like soreness. Didn't run in the best shoes. So got some Brooks yesterday. So I feel like that's going to help a lot. Even like I wore them last night to tryouts and honestly, I didn't even feel my foot at all. My foot was a little sore this morning, but once I like started moving, that was gone. And then just my last interval, my Achilles started to get a little bit sore again on my right side. And I don't know, I just haven't moved much or really ever done that. So, and I'm heavier than I used to be. So just kind of getting used to doing that, like getting my right foot to lift. Like I just am a left foot jumper and left foot dominant. So I think I've just done that so many more times. Like even if I like try to go dunk or whatever, still I'm going to jump off my left foot. So I think my left foot is just a lot better at lifting my body and my right foot not as much. Like had that compartment syndrome. So I think not being active, I think it's just kind of like gone into security mode. And, I think I'm trying to get it to kind of open up again and just have to be smart about like how I progress. For me, like I told Jaden, I just want to like get to a point where, I'm doing crazy stuff
Cruising.
again, because I'm just competitive and I want to go fast, and he's done a good job of kind of mentoring me through the progression and how I need to go. But even just like working out upper body, because I'm running and have like a clear goal, and that's something that I want to do, like working out upper body was way more fun. I realized how weak I am trying to do pull-ups. It was 2 sets of 8, and I did the first set and I had to break up the second one. And I used to be able to do just like so many pull-ups. I used to have pull-ups like with weight, and 2 sets of 8 would be nothing. And gravity sucks. So
It's the worst.
it's been good though. It's been fun. There's obviously like spiritual components to it, breath work components to it, and I just feel like more confident in my days, like even in decision making at work, like knowing that I did good work in the morning kind of gives me more confidence to make decisions. Just like a belief in yourself, I think. So it's been really positive for me. I know it's just like day 4 of it, but I'm excited. And, there's just like little things too that Jaden threw in there, like sending a message of gratitude and to somebody that's affected your life. So I just opened my phone. It started with A, because I'm hoping that this is something that I continue to do, just like throughout, just keep going down the list. And if I get all the way through, just go back up. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize I had them in my phone. And, they really impacted me and gave a lot of energy to me and, or whatever. And it's just a good way to like kind of, I don't know, reconnect with people in your life that have had a positive impact. So a lot of really good things. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to, it's already impacted me in a positive way. And so I appreciate that, Jaden. Just a little nudge. I think these are things that I've wanted to do over the last month or two. And it was kind of that one little extra kick that I needed. And so it's been good.
Yeah. It's been awesome to see the commitment from everybody. I mean, it's been a better turnout than I already expected. Kind of to touch on that running piece, like even just jogging, people underestimate like the amount of force you're putting into the ground. Like you're putting 4 to 8 times your body weight into the ground over and over and over and over again. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. We all talked about how we didn't really enjoy lifting weights right away just because it was just the bar and everybody was doing so much. So it's like running's the same concept. You're going at a slower pace than you feel like you maybe should, but that force is, I mean, it's controlled jumping, it's controlled falling, it's all eccentric. Like you're loading those joints and like positions and loads that haven't been done in a while. So yeah, it's a lot of trauma, it's a lot of stress. So you really have to ease into it and listen to your body, especially with that lower leg, and just like understanding that it's like a continual progression. Like you're trying to get consistency over time, and it's not like run really hard once and then be sore for a week and then try it again. Like that's going to be a long process. But yeah, it's been a blessing to see you start that process and got the first pair of running shoes. So we're getting things rolling.
He's in deep.
Got some Brooks yesterday. Yeah. Realized that was a very necessary investment. And I was like, oh, I'll be fine, but no, definitely get some good shoes if you're going to get into running, because it's a game changer.
And yeah, a lot of those tasks I felt like were necessary and things that people maybe haven't tried in a while. And I think it's something to get people to try. And then if they like it, they can continue. Like you said, like you can text people even when you're done with the challenge. It's not confined to these 40 days. I think I want to start habits that last, and something that you can try and see the impact in your own life. And like you said, we kind of talked about your mornings, just stacking, even spiritually, even reading, getting the stuff you prioritize and value in early in the morning. It just sets your day up for a lot better mood and energy and consistency, because you've put in that work already in the morning to just keep going.
Yeah, I've actually been reading at night, because one of the things is like not using your phone 40 minutes. So there's like a set bedtime, right? So like for me, I work later, so I made mine 11:30, which probably sounds late, but I just like, I know coming up here, like once fall skills start and practices start, like I usually don't get home until 9:30 or something like that. And so it's just really hard to go from a gym in like a high stimulus environment to bed, right? So I usually need that wind down time, and that's just kind of how I've lived. And so, but you can't. Well, one of the things is to not use your phone within 40 minutes of your set bedtime, which again is a great thing. So I've been reading at night, and it's been cool. Like Paige has always kind of done that. Like she just has like different books that she's read, and it's been fun to like read at night. And I think that's not something I've typically done. Like usually I've done that in the morning. But moving that to night has been kind of a cool thing too. It's just kind of like a great way to, I don't know, put the day into perspective, and obviously different messages with different, sections of reading. Started in John because that's, where Jaden said he was starting. So just read one chapter the first day because, Paige and I were just talking and stuff, which is fine, right? Got to give yourself grace with that. But read 4 chapters the last 2 days, and it's good. Like some of it can be really convicting. And then some of it can be like, which is good, like that's part of it. That's part of living a spiritual life, is making sure that you're aligning your actions with how he would have you. But then there's also like the grace component too, where, then like, I think 2 nights ago, it was more of like being afraid of the light because of our deeds or whatever. And I totally like understood that. But then the next day it was more like Jesus and his miracles and everything that like he did. And it was just like so empowering. It's like, dude, that's stuff that really happened. That's what I believe. I believe that those were very real events that happened in history. And I think that can really give you like, I don't know, powerful thoughts throughout the day, and kind of put things into perspective. Like maybe, the things that I'm doing aren't that serious, relative to the grand scheme of history. So again, just another really positive part of it. And I'm sure that, it'll be fun to hear everybody else's perspectives, in it. I don't even know who's all doing it. Like I just have random numbers. I didn't know if I should be like, hey, like text your name, or just kind of let people do their own thing and just kind of, just do it with like a, like the little guest profile picture is kind of how it is right now for me.
The old egg
with
on
the people
Twitter.
doing it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just me and a bunch of eggs and Jaden. But I'm excited to just kind of keep growing, through that and with other people, and hear how it's impacted them, on the back end of it. And like Jaden said, the bigger overarching thing is the things that we're going to take away and keep doing. And I know there's definitely things that I'll keep doing from this. And like I said, just grateful for that from, big little bro. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think John is such a great starting point. If anyone's trying to get into the Bible or just read, you see Jesus' his life, his words, his truth. And I just think it's really powerful to start in that Newer Testament. I know some people might start like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and then once you get to those numbers, like it can get really monotonous and boring, and you're not as committed. But starting in that New Testament, it's powerful.
I've been doing one where it's a 2-year plan. It goes through the Old Testament once and goes through the New Testament twice, and you read one from each day. That's been cool because I mean, there's a lot of Old Testament stuff that comes to fruition in the New Testament, and sometimes it connects super well. But then also there's also those Old Testament books that just are super hard to follow, but then you follow it up with like John or Acts or Romans, where Paul just be spitting in there, and it's a nice balance.
Yeah, bro.
And it's cool
He's got bars for sure.
Like when I've tried like reading it in a year or less, sometimes there's days where you rush through. So it's nice to like slow down and reread something if it doesn't make sense, because there's a lot of that. And sometimes it takes a second time reading it to actually take something from it. So, or even like what Justin said last week, switching to like the Message version, just so it makes a little more sense with how we speak today, can help as well, or just give you a different perspective. But yeah,
Well, it's been so cool. Like even with like the conversation last week with Justin, like he followed up after our session or podcast or whatever with just like some different thoughts and words of encouragement, and like just knowing our relationship back at Iowa, you know, and like how long he's known me, and seeing like what I was going through and everything. Like I just know like that meant a lot to me. And again, just like another nudge in the right direction. So this whole thing has just been really cool, and just had some great, and Colt texted me this morning, you know, and so it's just like, this is definitely for everybody listening without a question, but to also be positively impacted by the guests that we've had on. Selfishly, like that's been really neat. And so I don't know, this has been a fun experience. Fun to do it with you guys. And like I said, hopefully this is all just, you know, maybe there's different takeaways too. And if there are, feel free to reach out to us too, you know, and we can continue to have those conversations, because that's what's happened with me and our guests. And, you know, maybe that's the same thing that happens with you guys, but it's been fun. Just to kind of open that door, and people, and had two people reach out about Coach Rosie and that one too. And, you know, just so grateful for the guests that we've had on and how open they've been. And it's just been fun.
Yeah. Plenty of good takeaways, but also just funny stories like Cole's story with the Gatorade. I've gotten so much good feedback.
Oh my gosh.
That. That's funny.
So funny.
Apparently Dan was rebuking the story, but Cole came back with some receipts from former teammates.
Yeah, Paige caught me just laughing the other day, just randomly, and she's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, the salt story, dude. Like that was so funny.
Tim was laughing so hard the
unreal.
other day. It's a little different with your brother. Oh, that cracked me up. It's cool to just get it from, just kind of hit on different sectors of, I guess, like performance and health, like sport coach, chiropractor, strength coach, Jody, nutrition, and the former athlete perspective. It's just cool to have kind of hit all those facets of health and performance. And yeah, just excited to keep doing that and have some people smarter than us on and learn from them and have good conversations.
All these doctors, man.
Doctors. Unreal.
How's your job going, Colin? What's it been like?
It's been really good. I really enjoy it. It's been an adjustment, like working from home all day from like a health perspective. Days are definitely like busier. Like I'm doing something like all day, whether it's with the podcast or the job or the online training stuff. So it's busy, but it's a good kind of busy. And I've had to hone in on like time management more. I feel like a lot of people get out of strength and conditioning because like the workload is insane. Kind of what Justin talked about last week. He talked about like getting up at 3:30 and 4. And I didn't really have that. It was honestly a pretty light workload. It was more so just a lack of routine that I didn't like as much. But now I at least have a routine, even though it is more work and busy work. So it's been good. Also, like diet wise, it's hard when, you know, like when you're home and bored and you just go up and look in the fridge. And like for me, I'm home all day. So that's been an adjustment. Obviously, like environment is a big piece. And, you know, when you're surrounded by food all day, that's a little different. And so that's been an adjustment, but it's been going well. And I've been trying to learn some from Jaden, trying to do my own little version of Holy 40, maybe not the 12 steps, but just trying to eat a little cleaner with the ingredients and stuff, because I've always been good from like a macro perspective and protein and calories, but as far as like the source hasn't always been the best. So trying to hone in on that more. So like, yeah, the Kodiak pancakes, I tried that yesterday. Those protein pancakes, those are fire. I don't know if that meets the list, but that with some organic or some pure maple syrup and some butter, and then yeah, mixing in those beef patties, grass-fed patties. So just trying to incorporate that more. But yeah, job's been good. It's just been lifestyle adjustment, but it's how life goes. Adapt to the changes and be the best you can with the situation you got. Jaden, any takeaways from your experience the last 6 weeks? A little more real world perspective.
Yeah, it was really good. Got to learn from a lot of really good therapists in Lamar's. I kind of touched on this a little earlier, but just makes me really excited for when I get to practice in the profession by myself and like do what I think is best for the patient. Cole kind of touched on a lot of what we believe in, the patient-centric care, just focused on what their needs are. Obviously, there's some stipulations where maybe insurance comes in and they kind of dictate like time, but it's nice to know that you have control over what you're doing with the patient, and but still learning from those CIs and those therapists and seeing different methods, different rationale. It was really cool to be in that environment. Got to see a couple surgeries, a hip labrum, an ACL, and meniscus. It was really cool just to see that side of the health field, interact with some surgeons, some PAs, and just see the whole team. I think it was just a really enlightening experience, and I'm excited for the clinicals to come. Just open my eyes to just what I want my career to look like going forward, and just continue to make me a little more excited with this school year and getting through this last year of school, and then hopefully get to those last 27 weeks of clinicals and make the most out of those, because you learn a lot from being in the clinic, being under those PTs, and they allow you to get your hands on, get the feels, because yeah, you're basically a full-time physical therapist right when you're done, so they want to make sure you're prepared and ready to go. So just excited for this year to come. I feel like it's going to fly by, but yeah, it'll be full-time PT here soon.
That was my question. You think that experience will really help you with school and just kind of like putting that into maybe a better or fresher perspective, just what your knowledge is for and your application for it? Or
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest transition from undergrad to grad is you're in classes that you're going to use for your career, so you should be passionate about learning, and it shouldn't be that necessarily hard to study. Yes, there's still some minor classes that maybe aren't necessarily the most important, but you're still driving towards something that is your profession, and you need to know it and need to apply that knowledge. So yeah, being in the clinic helps you understand like how you're applying this knowledge, and puts the value in it. So there is more of a drive and motivation to study and to learn and to be in the classroom and do all that extra stuff. But it does put it into perspective, and just allows that drive to be the best PT, because at the end of the day, we're here to serve those patients and get good outcomes and get them back to their best self, their healthy self, whether that's running, lifting, moving, whatever activity they want to do. So we know the
what is
benefit
your
of what.
what does your like class routine look like in the fall? Like what time in the morning to what time in the afternoon? Like is it every day?
Yeah, so
When
it'll
is
be basically 8 to 4 Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to noon most Fridays. But then there's some research in the afternoon on Fridays, so pretty much 8 to 4, with like an hour lunch in between. But yeah, full course load. A lot more 1 and 2 credit classes this semester. So there's probably 7 or 8 total classes, but then still have like the musculoskeletal will be upper extremity, and then we have like a neuromuscular class with the head honcho. So that'll be a fun class. Really smart guy. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good. We know a DPT2 that was in the program ahead of us. So she's 1 year ahead, and she said this semester is probably the hardest semester of the 4. So we'll see what we're in for.
Home stretch though, baby. Over halfway done,
Yeah, it's
right?
gonna fly. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Um, do you see yourself? You talked about like getting to do your own stuff. Do you see yourself working for someone else or trying to start up like your own thing?
I think it'd be hard to start up right away,
Yeah.
right out of school. Got to talk with like Logan Richard, one of your former teammates, Colin, and he just talked about the value of mentorship. I think that's a big reason why he ended up in Lamar's.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted the CI that I was under as that mentor, as that person you can go to when you get a case that maybe you don't know the best thing to do, or you didn't learn that in school. It's good to have someone that's practiced for 30 plus years to pick their brain and see what the best move is going forward for them. So I think there's value in learning from other PTs coming right out of school. I don't think I'll necessarily feel ready to start my own practice right away, but in the future, it would be something that's really cool to be your own boss and practice in a way that you feel is best for the patients and build a facility that you feel like is best equipped. And I've kind of mentioned both the personal training and physical therapy in the past, and I feel like that would be a cool integration to make it more of a holistic approach. But yeah, probably not right away necessarily, both for financial reasons and for
Fair.
just mentorship. But
Yeah, I think it's good to have that perspective of both, like you have the training and personal training and PT background. I think being able to merge those is super important. Like, because instead of just a certain part of rehab, you're able to go through that whole process with them, basically post surgery to return to play. I feel like that's something you'd be able to walk with someone through for that whole process rather than, and we talked about last week, like sometime or a couple of weeks ago, like having to delegate to other people, and there's times to do that. But I think that's big, being able to be consistent with someone through a whole rehab and not having to get halfway and then completely refer them to someone else who hasn't seen them at all. So I think it's good to be able to blend those, and that's exciting to use that. I think that's cool that you'll still be able to do your own stuff. I think that's at times with like strength conditioning, I had frustrations working at that level. Like a lot of it was dictated by like sport coaches and the people I'm working for and working with, and a lot of time I could do my own stuff, but a lot of times like there's like a course of action I felt like was better, but sometimes you have to people please, and that's part of the game. And even like working with clients, sometimes you have to give them what they want, and give them some autonomy. Um, but yeah, I think that's important for any place to thrive, is just let people be good at do their thing and be good at what they do. And yeah, you're almost there, baby. Keep with it.
But even like a personal training perspective, like if somebody, like for me, example, right, like having some foot and Achilles stuff, like being able to prevent, like their or like help with their progression, or like talk about like managing their workload before it gets more serious, like there's definitely, okay, yeah, like this person was hurt and we got to work back to like healthy and through that progression, but also like being able to, from a personal training perspective, like prevent some of that, like, okay, let's taper off, like let's not make this, let's not bring this injury all the way there. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring it back. Let's, nick it in the butt before it's bad. I think like that's going to be really helpful too, from the personal training side of things.
Yeah, both preventative and post.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of benefit from personal training. I think it helps people stick to what they were doing in physical therapy that help them get better and continue to prevent further injuries. But yeah, beforehand, before that injury even comes about, maybe something's feeling off. Maybe they're just want to be preventative. I think there's value in having a physical therapist that's also a personal trainer to help you to stay from getting to that place where you need therapy.
I feel like so many people just like, well, it's fine, like work out on their own, you know what I mean? Or like do their own thing, or they find something on YouTube or TikTok or online and they go through it. Or maybe there's like a workout facility where that's what they do, right? Like that person is just doing like the workouts, but they maybe don't have the background into like the actual, anatomy or the physiology of like what's really going on, and people just push through it, and that's when something worse happens. But like I said, just having a personal trainer that's got a PT background and schooling, I feel like that's just a huge advantage to the people that you work with, and is, different than a lot of the people that are out there working out at, Anytime Fitness, or what's the one across the street, like the CrossFit places, or, you know what I mean? Like all these different, workout facilities that exist, and have, good people leading them with good energy. And I'm sure they're good workouts, but, I'm sure a lot of those people, that are older, in their 30s or 40s or 50s and are trying to stay healthy, have different things that are bothering them, like we talked about Jody and her shoulder, and like, there's just, I feel like if you're working out hard and pushing yourself, like you're going to have things that flare up. And like you said, having a resource to, take care of that and back off for a while, and, maybe not push the limits and leave some in the tank for a little while is probably a good thing. So I think that'll be really good.
Yeah. And even in the running perspective, maybe it's just getting your stride dialed, your cadence dialed, help you with breathing, help you with form, just stuff like that to get you going if you want to get started, just to prevent anything from happening. Maybe it's a one time a week thing, one time a month thing. Maybe it's just a single class, but just to have that integration to get you into an activity. Because with someone like you, Brandon, you were full-time D1 athlete and then take a little break and then come back into it. You kind of want to go back into the intensity that you were as a D1 athlete. Like it's hard to pull the reins back, and it's different. Like we're not that full-time, we haven't been training like that. So it's hard to pull that intensity back to like, where am I at right now? And what kind of load can my body withstand right now? So I think that part, it just helps with load management and making sure you're doing the right things. But
I think that's really common, like, especially because you guys are tailoring to former athletes. Like that's kind of the niche that, we've decided to focus on. And it's a competitive bunch, I'm competitive and I know what I've done. I know like what my body's been capable of, but whether they take time off or like, regardless of their circumstance, they're probably not in as good a shape or as young as they were when they were competing. And so that comes with the other side of it, right? And injuries and pain and stuff like that, and just movement patterns, and warm up stuff and stretching afterwards, and like all these things that maybe you didn't realize how much time you put into it. And because like once you start working, like when you're an athlete, yes, you have school, but it's definitely more time that you spent doing it. But when you get into the professional life, like a lot of people are trying to, they have 45 minutes to work out, and so a lot of times that can mean skipping, making sure that you're fully warmed up, or skipping, a cool down, and making sure that you take care of your body afterwards. And so there's consequences to that. And that's something that I'm learning. But I mean, I think that applies to a lot of the people that we're talking to, or that you guys might work with. So
there's a lot you can get away with as an in your prime college athlete. Like there's so many athletes with just terrible diets and sleep schedules, but just because they're a freak of human beings, they can get away with it. And if you just want to sit on the couch, you're probably not going to get hurt training if you're not doing anything all day, but there's going to be health and obesity problems that come with that. And so it is about finding what you can do activity wise, and that's going to look different for every person, and it's probably going to look different through different stages of life for you. Like at some point your body might not be able to tolerate certain activities or whatever that may be, but I think it's everyone's going to age, but you can definitely hold off that aging, and you can hold that off just by staying active with whatever that looks like for you, and just approaching it in a smart way. Again, it'll look different for everyone, and sometimes seeking help is the best thing you can do, and sometimes it's just about figuring it out for yourself. And some people do the same routine for years, and like we talked about Rosie, like running 6 days a week for 30 plus years, and he had the back thing, and like maybe it was related to the running, maybe not, but I mean, he extended his prime for years. Probably he's still getting after it just by being a dog consistently week after week. And I think that's all it is just finding something to be consistent with.
I blame his competitiveness and the random times he decided to squat. I was like, dude, stop squatting. Dude would just throw 135 on the bar. I haven't seen him squat in months, because he's always in there and he's got the same routine. He's got his bench or his decline bench or the dips. And then all of a sudden you see this dude on the squat rack and it just looks painful. I'm like, Rosie, I got it, but you do not need to do that.
Respect, but stop.
It always make yeah, but stop. Like I got it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think you just have to truly reassess like what your goals are. Like what we said, like Brandon, you're not trying to get back on the field to play D1 safety. Like, and you don't have the full-time athlete status where you're training for 2 hours a day, right? You got 40 minutes. We're going to get good work in, valuable work in that 40 minutes. And we're going to try to find something that you can stick to consistently and just progress over time. Like we're going to try to get that cardiovascular system working better. We're going to get those legs moving, get those muscles back in shape. And that's the goal. Like our goal is not to create these huge adaptations to get you back on the field. So it's just reassessing like what your goals are.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Oh, well, we can get there.
I was trying to help the Niners win a championship because I'm sick of them losing to the Chiefs. Sick of it.
You're the missing link.
I can't stand the Chiefs. Golly, I hate the Chiefs, but boy, am I excited for some football.
Oh yeah,
getting there. You can smell it in the air a little bit. Getting some chilly mornings.
I'm ready. I can't wait for that first Sunday full of games.
Are you most excited for like Hawkeye football or NFL or fantasy football? What's most? What are you anticipating most?
I'm an NFL fiend. I have a really hard time watching college football, to be honest. I don't know. From someone that's just like spent so much time in the film room, I have such an appreciation for good football, and I have like so much respect for the freaks that the NFL guys are, and like how good the coaching is, and like all the things that they're able to disguise and execute, and like the route running, and dude, I'm just, and like the freaks up front, and I just am an NFL fiend, dude, and that leads into fantasy. Like I've done some best ball drafts this off season. Like I'm ready for some fantasy football and for some NFL football, but I want the Hawks to do good. I still am a little bit questionable on their offense. I think the defense will be disgusting, and I always love watching that, but it's just, I don't know, historically been hard as a guy who played defense for the Hawks to watch the defense continue to be a top 20 defense in the country and just shut everybody out and barely win games or lose some games that we should have won. And I hope this has changed. I think the people they've brought in are actually the right people, just from the conversations I've had. I just think it takes a little while I think it's like a recruiting thing just as much as it is like a scheme thing. Like I know we've had some of the guys in, the Brandon Smiths and the Mir Smith Marsetts, and the running backs are always good. But I still think, we've got to continue to find the right quarterback, and I'm a little bit questionable on that. So I'm not quite sure. There was that quote like not that long ago, like we've got a long ways to go on
2 weeks,
Cade, and it was 14 days before the first game. Terrifying. That's not a lot of time to get QB1 where you want him. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And we've seen him do it, so we know he's capable. It's just, I don't know. Hopefully it's the right blend of new coordinator, and I don't know how the weapons will be. It'd be nice having Lachey back, but nice having Caleb Brown. But if we have some receiver depth, obviously our backs will be good again.
Yeah.
Just kind of
I do
need
know
that defense.
Defense and special teams will be elite. Yeah. I guarantee you, this man, Coach Woods from God's country, will have them boys ready to roll.
See, who's that Twitter account that always puts out like the coach and position rankings? Like Big Game Boomer.
Yeah.
They had Woods and Parker both ranked as top coordinators, special teams, defense in the country. Just a couple dogs.
Elite.
Couple killers.
Elite. Did you hear about Coach Parker?
I saw something about like a labrum or bicep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure somebody kind of got pushed out of bounds or ran out of bounds and took him out in practice. So he's dealing with a little labrum and bicep, or rotator cuff and biceps, I think is kind of what's going on. So I guarantee you them boys are hearing it from him, because I guarantee
gosh.
that just pissed him right off. I guarantee you those eyeballs are shaking more than ever. So I can't even imagine what it's like to make a mistake as a DB at Iowa right now. So I see that boy Zach Luckmer making some plays though. So
It's exciting.
it'll be tough to crack that lineup with, Schulte, X, and Castro. Three of the best guys in the country, and Jamari outside. But I think he'll find a role, whether it's a dime package or something like that, and definitely special teams. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for him and Vanderzee, and there's quite a few Northwest Iowa guys out there that might have a chance. So
Vanderzee playing receiver?
Receiver, yep. So, and
There
he's
you go.
been making some movement. I know there was a clip the other day that there were some DBs talking. Jamari was mic'd up, and they said, "Ooh, that boy can play." So I think he's earning the respect of his guys early. He was great family and great kid. So he's going to do everything he can to make that happen. He's got the ability. So we shall see.
It's exciting. You've been watching Hard Knocks at all?
I watched the first two.
They the third one, Tori Taylor was on there for probably a good 5 to 10 minutes of screen time.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Legend.
It was awesome.
Yeah, legend. Yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah, he's so nonchalant. Like the way he was talking, you'd think he's been there for 5 years, but he's just there doing his thing, and everyone's just in awe of how he's like. They're comparing him to a golfer. Like he has different types of shots depending on the yardage and getting balls to roll. They're just in awe, dude. Even like the GM was talking about. That's so cool to see.
Have you heard about the whole Fat Keenan thing?
No.
I listen to the Fantasy Footballers religiously. Great fantasy football podcast, but I guess Keenan came in a little bit overweight, so they were calling him Fat Keenan, kind of like Josh Jacobs with the old Fat Thor.
But
there's
always one.
I think he's looking better. I think he's looking better now. So
I saw
it's really interesting, all this contract stuff, dude. Like CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk. Like
there's a lot.
It's just a lot. We just pay these guys so we can watch them play some football.
Yeah.
Has there been anything with CD since Jerry Jones made those comments? And then CD quoted him?
I've heard it's progressing. When I say I've heard, I'm just listening to beat reporters and fantasy football stuff. But I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. They just wait as long as they can to pay these guys, and then they have to pay them so much money. It's like even the Bears with DJ Moore, like that's great. You know what I mean? Get out ahead and pay these guys early. And
otherwise the market resets. Like you see a Monraz deal, or you pay people, you wait to pay, the market's just going to keep going up.
Well, it's like Jamar Chase doesn't make sense either. He's got 2 years left on his contract. What is this man doing? But I mean, whatever. Get your money, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
You guys excited for some football or what?
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I'm the same.
I agree with you on.
I'm not a big college guy. I'm not watching Maction on Wednesday nights like some degenerates out there. But I get very excited for Hawkeye games. I love watching them, even though they break my heart every once in a while. Still enjoy those Saturdays, and obviously it'll be cool having the Washingtons, and I don't know what other new teams are on the schedule, but a little different type of matchup for those. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. And the playoff, there's been some projections for the Hawks in the playoff, so it might break my heart there as well. But exciting to have at least that option of, obviously with 4 teams, it was always going to be kind of a long shot, except for that 2015 year. Big Ten championship, that hurt.
Heartbreaker, dude. We would have played Alabama.
Michigan State.
I would have been on kick return against Alabama. That might have been the last thing I ever did.
Who was?
I might have been decapitated, dude.
Who was on that team that year?
I don't know. We should look it up.
I'm gonna.
We might have to come back on a later episode. But dude, that would have been. Oh, we were literally set to play Alabama.
Yeah.
If it weren't for 23 play drive to end that game.
Yeah.
Just a heartbreaker. And it was so frustrating because, I was a backup at the time. So, everything that they were doing, we had covered. And it was, and and I'm not out there, so I'm not saying like, oh, I would have made that play or anything like that. But it was like watching these route concepts and the plays that they were running. Like we covered all of them, dude. Like we had practiced everything that they did, and like I remember Lomax even just cracking dudes, and we just like couldn't quite make the plays that we needed to. It was just heartbreaking.
Dude, the first two names that popped up, Calvin Ridley, Derrick Henry. That's just on the roster. That's not even like Bo Scarborough. Played a few years. Reuben Foster.
I would have jumped on Derrick Henry's bag and he would have just drove me into the end zone. I would have been like a trailer on a truck, bro.
Kenyon Drake.
Oh. Was that like McCarron or what?
Who was the quarterback?
I don't know. Damian Harris was on that team.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Here you go. Here's some stats. Let's see. Jake Coker was a quarterback. I don't remember that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the name, but
yeah, yeah.
Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake, Damian Harris, Bo Scarborough at running back.
I bet they ran the ball.
You don't need a quarterback. Hey, Calvin, go deep.
Calvin. OJ Howard, he was pretty hyped up. He was a first-round draft pick.
He's a man. Oh, my God.
Marlon Humphrey.
That would have been the last thing I ever
Minka
did
Fitzpatrick.
in my life. So. Oh, my. Oh.
That would have been fun.
Oh.
I mean,
we might have had negative 150 yards.
Rose Bowl was cool in a way, I guess. Maybe not for you, but
played a human ghost.
Yeah.
He was a human ghost. Untouchable. Still untouchable. So I don't feel as bad, but
yeah, he was pretty good.
He's all right. Still is decent. Just got to take care of that calf. Whatever's going on.
Yeah. Let's go Niners. I need a Super Bowl. It's got to be this year because, they got to pay Brock Purdy, and that's going to change their whole roster. So we got to do it.
Yeah. Is that you?
And that appeals to both Hawkeyes and Cyclones. We need the Niners to win now.
Iowa unite.
This is the time. This is the year. Everybody jump on the bandwagon. Let's go to some games. You can wear Iowa. You can wear Iowa State. Do a little half-half, right? Little Kittle Niners, Iowa Niners, or a little Brock Purdy, little Cyclone, little Niners. But we need the Super Bowl now.
Now or never.
We'll see if Sam Laporta and Jack Campbell have anything to say.
I was gonna say,
yeah, they might.
The Lions would be a good consolation if they pulled it off. We'll see, man.
My heart is broken. All right, boys.
Football's coming. Yep. Exciting times.
It's coming.
Exciting times. Anything else? Sick.
Nope.
All right, boys. Till next time. Hopefully be back with a guest next week. Not sure who it is, but we'll get it figured out. We'll chop it up. So, till next time. Deuce.
Till then. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave a rating, review, or tell a friend to check us out. Be sure to follow us at SHRP_training for more content to help you be your best self. Go be great today.